Welcome back everybody to Let's Play Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus. In the last episode, we start out the game, basically. The camera, come on. There we go. And we have found that, well, we're basically just kind of stealing back the Thievius Raccoonus from thieves who thieved it from us. Kind of peculiar setup, but it's fun nonetheless.
That blimp looks like the most secured location on this boat. If Raleigh's really as smart as his police files suggest, then that's where I'll find him.
Wonderful idea, but your plan is flawed.
Why?
Because it's impossible to get near him. To access Raleigh's blimp, you would have to sneak through that high voltage power tube. To do that without getting electrocuted, you'd have to destroy that power generator. And to do that, you'd need 2 more of Raleigh's treasure keys, which are heavily guarded.
Interesting. So when are you gonna get to the impossible part?
Fine, but I warned you. I've marked the areas you need to hit with holographic markers. Follow them to your objectives.
Thanks.
Don't mention it. It's your funeral.
I think we can see who the optimist is here. Anyways. If I could, like, properly hold my PS2 controller. There we go. PS2 controller. So, we've found who it is that stole one of our pieces. Whoa! What just happened? That was kind of weird. I like swinging on these things. I just need to not fly off. Look at this.
Wow, you found a lucky charm. That'll protect you when you take any damage.
Very nice to have. In the form of a horseshoe on your back, instead of being a little thing that appears on your HUD, which is nice. Another thing that reminds me about Crash Bandicoot with this game's health system. But it is possible to, at this point in the game, actually have collected a horseshoe already without being told what it was. If you collected 100 coins, which might kind of weird you out, but oh well.
I see, chaps. My heartiest congratulations to you all. The storm machine has sunk its 50th ship last night, and the loot has already been unloaded. Our operation is moving along splendidly, with the possible exception being the gross negligence displayed below decks, and I demand the boilers stay at full pressure at all times. If you lazy, lowbrow, technically incompetent pack of guttersites did your jobs right, we'd have sunk 100 ships by now. But of course, filling boats is a fine, fine achievement. Carry on, my boys, carry on.
Interesting. Anyways, let's on to our first real level, known as Into the Machine. So this place introduces us to the
Better
general
close
format
those
of
furnace doors. Jump and press the square button. That'll slam them shut.
a level. Little one-off place that you access from the hub, basically. You also will have noticed that, well, possibly have noticed that my horseshoe is now gold and shining gold. This means I have 2 hit points right now instead of 3, instead of 1. 2 additional hit points, that is. This will protect you from any hit, from getting hit by anything. It will also protect you from anything else that would normally hurt you, such as falling into water.
We're in the engine room. My analysis tells me that if you trace the spinning crankshaft all the way back to its source, you'll find Raleigh's treasure key and sabotage his machine while you're at it.
So, for example, if I was to jump into water right now, which I won't, I'd just bounce back to where I was before I went into the water. And thankfully, this game's a little bit better than Sunjo's script itself from Bikini Bottom at making you bounce out of water back to your original safe location. At least in my experience so far. So it is quite helpful to be having these horseshoes, but they're not too easy to come across. Pretty rare in the levels.
Remember, Sly, hold down the circle button near the blue stealth auras to perform super sneaky thief moves.
And there are plenty of coins to be found to get yourself a horseshoe as well, but only so many. So you have to have at least some level of carefulness in this. Otherwise, you're not going to be making it all that far, I can assure you. Oh, well, sure. Something to get used to is this game's rather meager double jump. You might have noticed it already. I don't really gain air with it so much as I just kind of stop going down. It's kind of odd to get used to. And it tends to make you think that you can jump a bit further than you actually can. Just not a good misconception. So you're having. Nope, it fell. Whatever. So thankfully during this part, if you happen to miss a bottle and it falls down, you can go pick it up. So I'll go do that. Life. It's just down here. So weird not having the abilities that I've unlocked. It's kind of annoying actually not being able to use some of them, but whatever. I love how that looks. This part I don't like because it's kind of hard to perceive depth properly with a bunch of instances of the same 2D object swinging in front of you. Strafe, kind of. Just approach enemies at an angle and most of the time will be pretty fine. First, all these different things depend on the enemy individually, but usually it's pretty okay. Your attacks, it's most noticeable with the dive. But your attacks will home in on enemies or objects. Sometimes it will actually hone in on an object instead of an enemy, and that can cause problems. I know I've had issues with it. Whoa! And jump that feels really unsafe even though it isn't. Kinda like how the game makes you do that though. This game, I don't know what it is about it, but I think there's something really nice about these various portions where you just kind of like swing around on things or climb on things. Something about it feels just kind of risky and daring, which is kind of the point, I guess. Look, we have a trap this time. Just worry about getting the floating bottles. Others I can get in a moment. There we go. By the way, no, I'm pretty sure there's not a way to get back up. If you fall down here. So you might want to be pretty careful about getting all of those clues if you want to collect them by the end of the level. But Siren's still a nice thing to destroy just for the fun of it. You can also just smash the square button to keep attacking continuously, which is kind of nice too, I guess. I like doing a dive jump attack through this blast right here, but it tends to make you fall off the side of the pipe. So do that at your own peril. Really, the dive move is not too great to be using without caution. Oh dear. My biggest gripe with this game so far is you can't control the camera vertically, which I think is a pretty big issue in a platforming game, because this is a vertical platforming game too. And when you're moving around in this game, there is an element of moving vertically. Grab those rats over there. But as a result, sometimes when you need to be looking down so you can make a jump, you can't look down, and because of that, it's a completely blind jump that it would normally be absolutely fine. Your only way of looking up and down is by using the binoculars, which is nice. They are a very nice thing to have, but I really wish you could move the hair vertically without having to resort to that. So I could do something much more convenient, so I could actually have myself looking down when I jump. Here's the vault here. The vault is generally at the end of a level, not always. It's not usually too much of a drag to actually collect by the time, or to get to by the time you have all of the bottles. And checkpoint, alright. You can use a checkpoint multiple times, by the way. Every time it flashes, like it's taking a picture of you, like it just did there, it saved a second time. Meaning, doesn't mean much of anything actually. Because everything, when you die, everything gets returned back to the way it was. With the exception of any bottles you collected.
Press the circle to enter the vault code.
What might it be?
I
Suspense.
can't believe I pieced this one together. Try 227.
And so it shall be done. Boom. This one's kind of peculiar.
Interesting. Old Sally Cooper's fast getaway raccoon roll. Stories claim she can move faster rolling than anyone else could on the run. Hold down the triangle button to use this move. Switch between your power-ups using L2 and R2.
This one's kind of amusing, to say the least. It wasn't exactly what I expected. And it's kind of limited in its usefulness, but I like it anyways. Ta-da! I just become a ball and roll. Now, when you first use the move, you get a little speed boost, which is nice. Unless it sends you careening off the ledge. But hopefully it won't do that. Now, there is something peculiar I'm going to have to do right about now. Because there's a certain bug. This game has some serious issues with anything third-party being used while you're playing it, which includes certain memory cards or a Game Shark, or in my case, a widescreen hacks. Usually it's more buggy than it is for me right now. I don't know why. It's not too buggy for me right now. But something you'll notice is this. I close that fire, and yet it still hurts me. Not peculiar. So I'll address that real quick. And here we are, without the widescreen. Doesn't look as fancy. Everything's a little bit stretched out. And now the game works properly. But yes, the game's really finicky with that stuff. I don't know why. Certain bugs happen if you're using any kind of third-party stuff with this game. I haven't heard of that happening with any other game, but whatever. But let's collect the key and get on out of here and let ourselves re-enable the widescreen for everybody's viewing pleasure. So things aren't so weirdly stretched out. Alright. Now, let's save real quick. Yes, overwrite. And I'll be back in a moment. And here we are. Back where we were, widescreen and all. Now that we have finished this one area, as you can see, we have the key here on the map. But we don't have that little red hourglass thing. We'll see. That is, I suppose I'll tell you about that now. Whenever you complete a level and go back into that level, I don't know if you have to have collected the Thievius Raccoonus page or not, but if you go back in, you will find a little hourglass in that level at the beginning. If you break that, or if you break or go through that hourglass, you will be entered into a time trial. And if you complete the game or the level before time runs out, and it's a very strict time limit, believe me, you will unlock what I believe is a developer commentary on each level. I don't quite recall actually. I haven't unlocked any of them, guys. I haven't really been trying for them. But let's head on up to our next level. Which one should I do next? I'm trying to remember which one I did second last time. I believe I did High Class Heist second. So let's take this guy out. But first, I think we can collect a couple of things. This hub does rather generously have a couple things for us to be finding on our own. Such as a second free hit. Mine the spiky plants. A couple of things that are going to be found right up next to this guy. Don't worry too much about those guys with the searchlights. They don't actually activate any alarms, they just get freaked out and then start throwing stuff at you. Also have a life. Never mind the fact that I'm pretty sure I have fewer lives than I did before that cut. Stuff that I don't care to explain. Let's jump on in through here, through the laggy graphical effects. And this will probably be the end of the episode after I get through this place.
Jackpot, Sly! Look at all this stuff! Must be worth millions! And you know what that means? Tighter security. You're gonna have to be extra sneaky to get the treasure key here.
I'm actually kind of curious. I'm not sure what happens if you collect 100 coins when you have max health. I would like to see, in fact. So I'm gonna try to collect all these without getting hit. Any other things to pick up right now? Doesn't look like it. I want to take as little risk as possible of getting hit before I reach 100. Not that these are too easy or too hard to avoid, though. Of course, we are still really early in the game, so pretty much anything is basically easier than it's gonna be. Yeah, I figured I would do that. So basically, you get an extra life if you get 100 coins and you already have full health. I don't care if that's set up. Breaks so many things here for varying amounts of coins. If coins are your thing. But if you already have max health, then don't feel like any more lives, which maybe you won't need it. I'll get it anyways though, because I might. Not too sure. But I'll pick it up just for the fun of it, I guess. And just show that so many things can be broken. Fun. I'm assuming that breaking things is kind of symbolizing of symbolizing of stealing it. Maybe, because that's how I actually get money from it. But whatever. I probably shouldn't be losing too many lives in this game, since I'll be having played everything in advance that I'm doing on camera. This part I immediately got spotted in, amusingly enough. So this one's kind of odd. It kind of obviously knows where you are, because there are lasers following you the entire time. But at the same time,
Dude, this is the vault, but you need more clues.
whoa. But at the same time, it's not actually like attacking you actively. I don't know why that is. Okay, it's kind of odd, but whatever. Get the clues though, and run away. If I could, I'd pick up these coins from the statues, but oh well. And something you can mind with coins is, whenever something drops coins, those coins do despawn, in case you're wondering. So you do need to pick them pretty quickly. And no more. Cool. Vaults will always contain 2 bottles, little mini vaults that are destroyable. So be wary of those as well. If you're interested in getting all the secrets, which I say you should be. What? Darn it. But these guys are the jumping variety. Oh, too bad I went up too. Oh, nice. Alright. Now, I'll admit, this part I have a little bit of trouble on. It basically has a life that respawns every time you come through here. Seems kind of dumb, but whatever. Some enemies also randomly drop lives. I don't know why. But something you'll just kind of encounter when you're playing through the game. You just kind of randomly find yourself getting lives or dropped by enemies sometimes, which I can't complain about, but it's kind of weird to me regardless. An enemy that doesn't really drop anything but a couple of coins would give you an entire life. Whatever though. I'll take what I can get. Something that's really noticeable in this level, and I like a lot, I think it's just kind of funny, is the music actually changes when you're sneaking around on stuff. like the sound effects to play when you're sneaking around these pillars. They're silly, kind of funny, and actually fitting at the same time. Which is a pretty solid accomplishment, I think. Alright, now we're right about the end here, so I suppose we might as well finish up quickly and get out of here. So we can live to thieve another day, I guess. It's easy to get caught by that one in particular, I find, but it doesn't matter because you're right next to the siren. So don't get too worried. Did I miss more of these things than I thought I did? I missed a whole 5 somewhere. Alright, I had to backtrack. I do have to backtrack anyways to get back to where I wanted to be. But ugh. Probably gonna die here, but oh, well, or just get hurt by the water. But that works too. Actually laying on the lily pad. Like I said before, you can't look down in this game without using your binoculars, so it's kind of hard to jump downwards. It's very blind. Oh yeah, I forgot about this part. There are... Come on, jump up there, Sly. Sly! You kind of find difficult to get Sly to grab ledges when you need him to sometimes. But there are also things to be picked up right here around this ledge. It's kind of weird and out of the way, but finding these sorts of things that are kind of decently hidden will get easier as you go through the game for a number of reasons. Part of it being just expecting them to be here and knowing where to look. And we happen to be right next to the vault, so let's take care of that while you're here. Let's see what our peculiar power-up for this place is.
Press the circle to enter
This one's
the vault
odd,
code.
if it's what I think it is.
Whoever thought this code up knew what they were doing. Dial in 436.
And so it shall be done. I'm actually not sure if what power-ups you get depends on the order. I'm not sure if the power-ups that you get depend on what level you get it from, or if you always get them in a specific order. We'll have to see.
These are the blueprints of Raleigh's entire operation. I wonder... Yes! I can wire this info directly into your binocucom. It'll show you the position of nearby clues and breakable objects.
Alright, so you always get these power-ups or upgrades, I guess. You always get these new abilities in a specific order. I played another level before this one last time. I don't remember what it was, though. Well, I now remember what it was. But we'll play through that level next episode. But now, whenever we use the binoculars, they're much more useful now. You notice there's a little compass type thing on the bottom. But if you look around... Oh, what? Oops. There we go. You'll notice lots of things are also marked red. These things are destroyable objects. Not too useful, but it's nice, I guess. And you'll also find green markers for any, for any bottles for opening the vault. Which makes hunting for bottles much more easier than it was previously, because now you can see the bottles through walls. Anything that you have to break that also drops bottles, you will also find using the binoculars. So it makes life a lot easier having that upgrade. Looking for the bottles at least. I won't say it really matters otherwise. But it gives some actual purpose to the goggles, or the binoculars, because otherwise it's nice to be able to look around, but its usefulness is really just so limited. Kind of a comfortable rolling around here because I'm kind of afraid I'm gonna fly off the ledge. You can't turn too quickly when you're rolling. Also, like the slightest bumps will also make you bounce and stop and do weird stuff when you're rolling too, which is why I kind of don't like doing it. Makes me nervous. It's not really that much quicker, especially if you end up bumping on things and you can end up getting hit and killed by some enemy. You're not too careful as well when you get stopped. Anyways, so I'd say that will be about time for us to finish this episode of Let's Play Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus. Fun and exciting new game for me to play. And a new series that hopefully you guys will enjoy as much as I have so far. And I would hope that I get to play through the entirety of the Sly Cooper series. I'd enjoy that. If I actually enjoy the Sly Cooper games. Which I hope I do. Seems like I'm going to. Anyways, whatever the case, I'll be seeing you guys next time in the next episode of Let's Play Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus. Bye guys!